Hi everyone, my name is Ms. Shiva and I'm here with the Kansas City Public Schools, and this is Science for 5th and 6th grade.
In the last video, we start learning about Earth's spheres, and there are four of them: hydrosphere, atmosphere, geosphere, and biosphere. So last time we learned about hydrosphere. So we know that hydrosphere, all water on our planet. But today we're going to learn about atmosphere. After this video, you will be able to define what sphere we call atmosphere. You'll know layers of the atmosphere and their function. Also, you'll know what the components of air around us. But the most important, we will learn how two spheres, hydrosphere and atmosphere, interact with each other. Let's get started.
Earth's atmosphere is a thin layer of air that forms a protective coverage around the planet. If Earth had no atmosphere, days would be extremely hot and nights would be extremely cold. Earth's atmosphere maintains a balance between amount of heat absorbed from the sun and amount of heat that escapes back into space. It also protects life forms from sun's harmful rays.
If you were asked, what is our atmosphere is made of? More likely your first answer would be oxygen, which is technically correct. However, this is not what mostly our atmosphere is made of.
The atmosphere, what we often refer to simply as air, is made of both gases and aerosols, which are solid particles. Nitrogen is the most abundant gas, making up 78% of the atmosphere. Oxygen actually makes up only 21% of the Earth's atmosphere. 1% other gases like argon, carbon dioxide, water vapor, carbon monoxide, ozone, methane, hydrogen, and so forth. Each of these gases play an important role in the atmosphere. Water vapor is like a very fine mist that can create clouds and weather. Ozone absorbs ultraviolet UV radiation from the sun. Plants use carbon dioxide for an essential process called photosynthesis, and carbon dioxide is also a greenhouse gas, which means that it traps heat from the sun, warming the earth. Currently, the Earth's atmosphere has too much heat-trapping carbon dioxide, which is causing our overall climate to warm and change. This phenomenon called global warming or global climate change. Along with gases, there are particles in the atmosphere called aerosols. These particles include salt evaporated from the oceans, dust from the ground, pollen from the plants, ash from the volcanoes, acid, and other particles from human pollution. Aerosols can affect the weather and climate because they reflect and absorb sunlight. Earth's atmosphere has 5 layers. Each one has own properties. The lower layers include troposphere and stratosphere, and the upper atmospheric layers are mesosphere, thermosphere, and exosphere. The troposphere and stratosphere contain most of the air. Okay, let's talk about each layer in details. So the first layer would be a troposphere. This is the layer the closest to the Earth, and it contains most of the weather, most of the air molecules, and it's heated by warmth of the Earth's surface. So the higher you go in a troposphere, the colder it gets. Next layer is a stratosphere, layer above the troposphere. Most large planes fly there. The ozone layer is located at the top of the stratosphere because the ozone, which is located high up in the stratosphere, absorbs UV radiation from the sun. It gets warmer as you get higher. Ozone layer is a layer of gas in the atmosphere that protects humans and animals from harmful UV rays from the sun. The same rays that cause sunburns and skin cancer. Next layer is a mesosphere. The prefix meso means middle. The mesosphere is the middle layer of the atmosphere, and temperatures here drop drastically because it contains little ozone and matter to absorb heat. Meteors that enter our solar system usually burn up here. Well, if you ever seen a shooting star, you might have witnessed a meteor in the mesosphere. Next layer is a thermosphere. This is the hottest layer in the atmosphere. It filters out gamma rays and X-rays from the sun. Exosphere. Exo is a Greek suffix that means outside. So the exosphere is the outermost layer of the atmosphere. Has almost no matter and eventually fades into space. Satellites orbit the Earth in this layer. Ionosphere resides within the other layers, and ion is a charged particle. So the ionosphere is made of a layer of charged particles. This layer absorbs the sun's AM radio waves, while at night, in the sun's absence, the ionosphere reflects radio waves from city to city.
Atmosphere interacts with a hydrosphere through the process called water cycle. So before we talk about it, let's go ahead and cover important vocabulary.
Evaporation is when a liquid changes to a vapor through heating. The sun's rays heat water in oceans and on the ground, transforming it into water vapor that rises into atmosphere. Plants also release a water vapor into the air through transpiration. Condensation is when a gas changes into a liquid through cooling. After water has been evaporated into the air cools down and the water molecules clump together to form a tiny droplets of liquid water, forming clouds. Precipitation is when water droplets and clouds get large and heavy and fall from the atmosphere back to the earth as a rain, snow, hail, and sleet. When precipitation falls on the ground, it gets absorbed and funneled into streams and rivers that eventually flow back into the ocean. Water flowing above ground is called runoff, while the water flowing below the surface is called groundwater. So sun's rays hit the land and ocean. A water vapor enters the atmosphere. Up in the air, moisture in the air cools and forms into clouds. And moisture in the clouds forms into water, ice, or snow and falls to the earth. And then it's run off back to the ocean and process repeat again.
This is all what I have for you for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video and learned a lot. Next time we will be talking about geosphere, and I'm looking forward to see you again. Bye now.